If you're tired of feeling like your creative practice is stale or repetitive, and you live in an urban environment, you need to watch this video. I'll show you how to find new inspiration and invigorate your creative practice by doing nothing more elaborate than stepping out your front door. You won't believe how much the world around you has to offer. Hey, I'm Elizabeth, and this channel explores the intersection between art and personal development, all designed to help you live your most creative, fulfilling life. Look, I don't know about you, but I live in a fairly big Canadian city. Maybe you're lucky enough to step outside your front door and find yourself in an idyllic environment, but outside my front door is, well, someone else's front door, and their front porch, and then another, and they're all lined up in a row like gingerbread houses, most with leftover Christmas decorations still desperately hanging on in March. So yeah, I could easily find myself uninspired and even bored by the monotony around me. But I've found that walking through my suburban neighborhood can be a transformative experience for both me and my art. In fact, the painting you're watching me create here came to me while I was walking past a construction site a few blocks away from my home. I remember feeling particularly stuck in my creative practice that day, and yet something about this very tall building being raised from the ground up to meet the sky seemed almost magical. Okay, so let's say that you, like me, sometimes find yourself bored, uninspired, and frankly frustrated by the way your creative work is going, or not going. It's time to lace up your shoes and step outside. And I know you've heard it before. Go take a walk, you'll feel better. And yes, that's true. But that's not all there is to it. Again, if you live in the countryside, 1, I'm jealous, and 2, enjoy the amazing inspiration nature has to offer. But if you live in the countryside, you don't need me to remind you why being out in nature is so magnificent for creatives, right? But you creative city folk, I see you. And hey, I can hear you too. I live in a boring area, you're saying. There's nothing inspiring to see outside my front door. And to that I say, au contraire, mon frère. That's French for, nope, nuh-uh. I'm not buying it because it's just not true. Well, okay, I admit that some urban areas are not as visually stimulating as others. It's important to approach your city walks with an open mind and a sense of curiosity. Instead of focusing on what's not there, try to notice the small details and the unique features of your environment. Maybe you'll notice the way people move and interact in different areas, such as a busy street corner or outside a gas station. Or maybe you'll notice the way the light falls on a building, creating interesting shadows and reflections. Or perhaps what catches your attention are the smells of different areas, such as the scent of food from a nearby restaurant, or a whiff of a patch of wildflowers in a vacant lot. One of the best examples of this is the artist and writer Georgia O'Keeffe. When she moved to New York City in 1918, she initially found it overwhelming and uninspiring. But she soon discovered the beauty in the city by taking long walks through the streets. She found inspiration in the colors and patterns of the buildings, the shapes of the bridges and tunnels, and the energy of the people and traffic. O'Keeffe started making sketches and notes during her walks, which eventually became the basis for many of her paintings. One of her most famous works, East River from the Shelton Hotel, was inspired by the view from her hotel room after a long day of walking the streets. Her experience shows that by really soaking up the environment, paying attention to the small details, and taking time to appreciate the beauty of the city, you too can find endless inspiration. In addition to providing inspiration for her art, O'Keeffe found that her city walks had a calming effect on her. She actually said, "When I got to New York, I was completely exhausted, and I found the only way I could keep going was to keep walking, and I've been walking ever since." If you're like me and many of my creative friends, you're probably pretty exhausted too. So in addition to rejuvenating your creative practice, walks around the city can also be a form of self-care and a way to reduce stress and anxiety. Mindful walking is a great way to cultivate a sense of calm and gratitude. Stay present in the moment, focus on your breathing, And take time to appreciate the things you observe on your walk. Your creativity will thank you. And remember, you don't have to go far to find inspiration. Take a walk through your own neighborhood and see what you can find. You might be surprised at how much beauty and inspiration is right outside your door. So there you have it. The power of city walks is a tool for finding inspiration and invigorating your creative practice. Whether you live in a bustling metropolis or a small town, there's beauty and inspiration to be found all around you. You just have to be willing to look for it. And all right, you have to be willing to leave your house, which is something that I sometimes struggle with, but that's a topic for another video. Remember, creativity is all about exploration and experimentation. Have fun with it. Embrace the environment around you and watch your work come to life in a renewed way. Did you enjoy this video? Then why not give it a little love and click that like button below. It's like a virtual high five between friends, and it helps me know that I'm creating content that resonates with you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.